Oh.
Patrick always wins when he.
Yep.
Yeah.
We need somebody from New Zealand or
Australia or something.
Australia. Yeah.
Okay.
That would be good.
All right,
that
somebody get on the recruiting.
Yeah, we'll recruit.
There you go.
Would be somebody who's on in the middle of their night.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
They'll be in another day. They'll have another date entirely.
Yeah. They'll be in tomorrow.
Here's Reverend Bill with your God call.
You can hide it. You can disguise it. You can put it in an unexpected place. You can conceal it. You can put it underneath something. But the truth of the matter is, the bright light of love, that's the truth of who and what you are, is always shining. And that means at some point there's going to be the reveal. That light will be noticed. And once it's noticed, it will get noticed again and again and more and more and more. So no matter what you do to hide your light, it's not going to work. You are the bright light of love. Let it shine.
Fear's knocking at your door. Hatred is calling your name. We've all been there before. Yeah, we're all the same. Open up a window, let the sun shine in. Find the strength to take a chance. When freedom rains down, fear's not around, and hope takes a stand. So let freedom rain down. Let freedom rain down, down, down. In a time when rivers run dry, we fail to see the good in our lives. Use your very own hands. Use your very own hands. So let freedom rain down. Freedom rain down, down, down. Let freedom rain down.
Oh, thank you. That was wonderful. And good morning, New Thought Philadelphia. Welcome to a Sunday in August 2021. We are back on Zoom with stories and so forth continuing to unfold. As you know, Zoom etiquette, we're all pretty good at this. Leave your microphone muted, except when you're sharing or during times when we want to hear a cacophony, like right now. So I invite you to go ahead and unmute and repeat after me. I open myself to love.
I open myself to love.
I open myself to joy.
I open myself to joy.
I open myself to the awareness of the good surrounding me.
I open myself to the awareness of the good surrounding me.
I know that love and goodness is right here, right now.
I know that love and goodness is right here and right now.
And so it is.
And so it is.
All right. You can exercise your mute button one more time as I remind you that New Thought Philadelphia is an open and loving community of spiritual adventurers, welcoming each person to experience their divine nature in an empowering space of unconditional love. Whatever path you've been on, whatever brought you here today, wherever you're heading next, we have been expecting you, and welcome home. So we believe that there's one power, love, intelligence, or force that creates everything everything, including each of us, and that we are each using that same power, love, intelligence, or force to create our lives according to our beliefs. Or as we like to say around here, your new life begins with a new thought. So if you have a cell phone or some other piece of electronics around you, the microwave that's counting down for your lunch or whatever, go ahead and switch it to shush for the next hour or so we can go within and focus on that divine power and presence instead of being distracted. I'm Reverend Bill Marcioni. Our music today is by first timer with us, Amanda Pennical, and wonderful to have you with us. And our practitioner of the day is Joe Catanzaro, RSCP. We also have a very special guest speaker. Pankaj Sharma is going to be talking about wealth consciousness later on. To begin our celebration now, we're going to begin the way we begin everything, with a practical prayer, and Joe is going to lead us in that.
Good morning, everyone. Let's take a breath, settle in, and know with me. There's one power, one presence, one divine source of life, one intelligence. It is all love, it is all life. It is that divine source that is our source. We love with the same love. We breathe with that same spirit. We create with that same creative force. We think with that same intelligence and mind. We're all separate, unique emanations of that divine one, yet we share everything with each other. We share that source, we share that spirit, we share that mind. As we join in celebration today, I know that this time that we share will bring joy, love, harmony, peace, connection, unity. All of this good flows through us and is unfolding now. And I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for everyone here. I'm grateful for everything we share. And I claim it for each one here. I allow it. I know it is.
And so it is. So the reason that we do practical prayer is because it makes something happen in our lives. We get a result. We get a prayer work story. Who would like to share a prayer work story today? Just go ahead and raise your hand in the wave in the window, or you can click the little reaction button to raise hand. Go ahead and share what's going on. I have one which I will share. And this is, I love the prayer work stories that where the windup is like 8 or 10 years. So I was talking to one of our members today, or this week, and there was a very specific comment about the first time she attended the celebration. And when we said, whatever path you've been on, whatever brought you here today, wherever you're going next, we've been expecting you. Welcome home. She told me that that brought her to tears. And I moved back to when we first started New Thought Philadelphia. And there was a lot of discussion about how we wanted to express that, how we wanted to say that. And if, when we're welcoming people for the first time, we want to say, welcome home. Is that presumptuous? Am I telling you that you're home and you may or may not feel at home? Along the way, we got a wonderful bit of a great suggestion from Jesus. Because we used to say, we've been waiting for you. And he said, change that to we've been expecting you. So it's not like you're late. And we did. And to know that all of that, which was done in prayer and intention and visioning, resonated so deeply, was a prayer work story for me. And by the way, Jesus, nice sunroof. Anybody else have a prayer work story that you'd like to share this morning? You guys are all on summer break? Cool. Carla Ann has some announcements for us.
Good morning, everyone. This blustery information can be found on our website at newthoughtphilly.org and in our weekly e-newsletter. Please sign up on the website so we can keep in touch. The Practical Prayer Podcast is now live with new episodes every Wednesday. It's conversation between Reverend Bill and Carol Lawrence that dives into practical prayer, how it works, and how it works and how to work it. Search Practical Prayer on Apple, Google, Spotify, or Stitcher, or get the link on the website. It's really awesome. I've listened to several so far. Deepen into your prayer practice with the Practical Prayer for Real Results interactive process. It's 1 hour on Zoom with live original music by Amy Steinberg on Tuesday, September 7th at 7 p.m.
And I'm just going to jump in and say, this is going to be spectacular. This is going to take the steps of practical prayer and take an affirmation and let us deepen into it. And so we get to talk about it a little bit. And then Amy's going to sing a song about it. It's going to be this wonderful spiral deepening. Definitely worth being there. Back to you, Carla.
Awesome. We're getting together for a cookout and tie-dye party in the park. Sarah will guide us in creating a wearable masterpiece and we'll share a dish together. That's Saturday, September 11th from 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. Please register for free on the website. Twice a day, we have a community check-in and meditation on Zoom. They're inspiring and fun and less than 15 minutes. Everyone is welcome. And we'd love to have you follow New Thought Philly on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and join the Philly Spiritual Adventurers group on meetup.com. The Power of 8 Intention Circle meets Mondays at 7 p.m. Contact Sandy for information. The women's group meets Thursday, August 26th at 7 p.m. Contact Joe or Sandy for information. And the Conscious Creativity Corps meets the third Tuesday of every month for a night of fun and love, just full fellowship, creativity, and joy with different creative activities. Email creativity-core@newthoughtphilly.org for more information. Sandy, our beautiful Sandy, is going to make a special announcement right now.
Thank you. And thank you for this opportunity to share this opportunity. So Reverend Bill volunteered me at my delight to join with two ministers, one from Unity and the other for Centers for Spiritual Living, to co-create a program called Healing the Divide, a series of small group book studies on race. We're now accepting applications from facilitators who we will train in October to facilitate these groups that'll be between 5 and 8 people each. You are welcome and encouraged to become a facilitator or a participant. The facilitator training is a day and a half and will be in October, and the classes begin in January. Each class will be 90 minutes and the book study will go for 10 weeks. The book we'll be using for this round of study will be Ruth King's Mindful of Race. Ruth King is a Black Buddhist woman, and the book is a powerful springboard for powerful discussion. And I really hope that you'll all consider joining as a facilitator or a participant, and you can contact me for more information. My information will be in the chat. Thanks.
Thank you, Sandy. And just a quick comment on this. This grows out of the work that we were doing a year ago on moving beyond white supremacy to kind of build on that. And last fall, Jesus and I took part in Healing the Divide Module 2, which this is, and obviously we're on the third one now, and just so honored that Sandy is able to participate in creating the third one, because that's how change happens, is we take a step and then we take another step, and we take another step. Back to you, Carla. I'm going to stop talking again.
Thanks, Sandy. Thanks, Rev. And thank you to our fantastic production team and presenters who make our Zoom celebration work. There's a short technical rehearsal before the celebration on Sunday. And to join us, contact me, Carla Ann. I'll put my contact information in the chat. Next week is the 5th Sunday. We'll be virtual, all online for a special healing celebration that includes a powerful interactive healing prayer for everyone present. Have a candle on hand if you can, and there'll be live original music by Alyssa Garcia. Reverend Bill and the practitioners are available by appointment for professional prayer. After the celebration, Joe will be available for a quick miracle in a minute prayer at no charge. We'll leave the Zoom meeting open for people to talk amongst themselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Carla. And we have a little gift and a blessing for people who come back for the second time. And we also have a special blessing, and usually it's a welcome packet, but now we have an invitation to sign up for the e-newsletter so we can keep in touch with you. We know that Amanda is here for the first time today. If there's anybody else who's here for the first time, you can go ahead and just wave your hand just to identify yourself, because we're going to give you all a blessing. Okay. So Amanda, anybody else who's new, you just received. Make this flow to you. The rest of us are going to rub our hands together, generate some warmth, feel the love. You are the bright light of God's love. Thank you for shining that light and sharing that love with us today. And welcome. So as we do, actually, as Amanda does the next song, we're going to switch to gallery view and just make eye contact with the people we're in community with, because this is how we connect and it gets richer. Amanda?
Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend, and I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if I have things you need to borrow, for no one can fill those of your needs that you don't let you. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend, and I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. If there's a load that you have to bear that you can't carry, oh, I'm right up the road, and I'll share your load if you just call me. So just call on me, brother, if you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'd understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend, and I'll help you carry on. It won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on.
Beautiful. Thank you, Amanda. And now we have a first-time leader and reader of the Flames of Faith. It is the daughter of Bill Marcioni. That was my uncle, Bill Marcioni, my cousin, Linda Francis.
Morning, everybody. So we perform this ceremony to acknowledge that all people and all faiths come from the one power, love, and intelligence, which we call spirit or God. We honor the richness that comes from our shared diversity and bless the interwoven energy of the divine feminine and masculine. We light the first candle. There we go. For the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the fourth candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the fifth candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the sixth candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the seventh candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the eighth candle for the universal religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. And we light the ninth candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. Now, as we light the healing candle, please put silently into the light names of anyone or any place you wish to experience the healing flame of God's eternal love.
Blessed be. Our reading today is presented to us by Jennifer Kerrigan.
Good morning, everybody. So today's reading comes from Richer Living, How to Use Your Mind Power for More Successful Living. And this is written by Ernest Holmes and Raymond Charles Barker. And the title of the reading is, I Am Supplied from the Substance of God. And it begins with a quote from John chapter 3, verse 35. The Father loveth the Son and hath given all things into his hand. We all have need of many things. We cannot believe that the divine spirit wishes to withhold any good from us. It is the nature of God to give, and it is our nature to receive. Back of every idea of supply, every need in our human lives, there is something which forevermore gives of itself and takes the form of our experiences when we permit it to. Whether it be a house to live in, money that we have need of, or employment that furnishes the gratification of adequate self-expression, always there is the giver flowing into these things. But the divine has already given its entire being to us. God has not failed humanity, but humanity has failed to accept the gift. It has failed to enter into the spirit and the nature of the giver. It has even refused to believe that there is such a gift or a giver. How then can even God really give us what we refuse to accept? This is why Jesus told us that we must believe that we have already received the gift before we see its evidence. This is an active faith, but it should be a faith built on the sure knowledge, the certain foundation, the positive conviction that there is something that responds to us gladly, readily, willingly, joyously, and without limit. Today, I am living in the quiet and joyous expectation of good. God is not only my life, He is substance taking form in everything I do. God is not only the actor, he is acting through me now. God is not only the giver, he is the gift. This gift I receive in joy, with gratitude, and with a complete sense of security. I expect everything I do to prosper. I expect new and wonderful experiences to come to me. I am living in complete confidence that the kingdom of heaven is here and now, and I am prospered in everything I do.
These empty walls won't hold my stories anymore. Putting my life in cardboard boxes on the floor. Goodbyes to be said, oh, and hugs to be shared. All my wheels can hold, I'm gonna pack her up with care and make my way. I take a leap of faith at the end of the day. Oh, at the end of the day, I'm gonna be okay. I got all I need. I got a map and a dream. Now that my memories, I'm packing the best with me. Packing the best with me. I'm not moving on, I'm just moving away. I got a road to chase down. Oh, I'm sorry I can't stay. I thank God each night as I lay down my head for the path that pushed me towards a road that lays ahead. I make my way. I take a leap of faith, and at the end of the day, oh, at the end of the day, I'm gonna be okay. I got all I need. I got a map and a dream. And now that my memories, I'm packing the best with me. Packing the best with me. I gotta follow my heart to a place unknown. Steer the course, push ahead with time. See, I'm living my life like a rolling stone. Leaving don't mean I'm leaving behind. See, I make my way. I take a leap of faith at the end of the day. Oh,
That was wonderful. Thank you, Amanda. Yeah. So Pankaj and I have been crossing paths for 21 years now at the Association for Global New Thought and Someplace and Center for Conscious Living and Center for Spiritual Living and the thing that you were doing in Berwyn and our stuff and Common Ground. And oh, by the way, childbirth classes that you and Ruby did with Dina. And we sent along the picture. We asked Pankaj for a picture and he sent along a picture with his little babies who are taller than he is now for the graduation party. It's just astounding. So, and Pankaj also reminded me that 16 years ago, he taught a class on wealth consciousness that was very impactful for me. And I'm not going to spoil the surprise. He'll probably talk about it a little bit, but I can always do that later on. And he's doing it again now, the wealth consciousness thing. And it is my absolute delight to welcome Pankaj Sharma as our guest speaker today. Welcome, Pankaj.
Well, thank you very much, Bill, and everybody. Good to be here on a Sunday morning, and grateful for the opportunity to be of service and to give back. About 2 months ago, everybody's volume, everything okay, good. All right. So about 2 months ago, I started. I was sitting at the car dealer waiting for my car to get serviced, and pulled out a piece of paper and just started taking inventory of my life, like the different areas of you have mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, social, kind of like 6 categories. And I gave myself a 5 for spiritual. And I gave myself about a 7 for mental, emotional, 7 for health or physical, a 5 for social, and a 10 for financial. And it was really jarring to just take, like I said, this quick inventory of where I was at. And it was just kind of, intuitive, like this is what number would pop into my awareness. And when I started then to realize, I'd gotten off track spiritually. I had gotten off track with my practice. I had gotten off track with working on myself, and just kind of doing life and really blessed in so many ways. But so I started my son had just graduated from high school, and we had a party, and somebody gave him a gift, The Laws of Success, and it was sitting on the counter, and it was this really fat book from Napoleon Hill, The Laws of Success. It's like, as fat as the Science of Mind kind of book. So I started reading it. I read a chapter. I'm saying, oh, you know what? This is going to help me. I'm going to, and I also started getting back into my meditation practice and stuff. And I started reading the book a little bit. And I read like the first chapter, and I was like, this is good. But then I saw this book that's sitting it was sitting in my living room for like months, and I hadn't picked it up, but I kind of just put it out there. Maybe I'll pick it back up, right? Or something. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, this is good, but this is freaking great. Like, this book is what I really need to get into. And I picked up the book Wealth Consciousness. And like Bill said, like 16 years ago, I was, doing, classes with this book. I did taught about 30, 40 people in New Jersey, in Delaware, and a group in Pennsylvania that Bill was a part of. So in the tri-state area, I was able to share this with people from all 3 states, at that time. And it was a book that really, really profoundly changed my life. It gave me a simple meditation practice that really helped me to just like live in the flow and not be so caught up in my head. And I always like to say, like, the head is like the land of the lost. You can get really lost up here, and the mind, and the whole essence or practice, I think, of the science of mind, right? Or whatever they call it now these days. I don't know, change the name, but is to bring the mind in connection with God presence, right? And to bring the mind into the presence of soul, and to bring the mind in connection with spirit, whatever word you like to use. We don't get hung up on the word, find the word that suits you, to bring the mind in connection with God, right? And as the mind connects to God, to that divine mind, right, then everything else kind of works itself out, right? But our real problem in essence is the separation, to living in separation, and the mind is living, and so the mind is like the prodigal son. I look at it, that the mind is this like left and one out into the far country. And when it comes back home, right, it's given the ring of unity, and there's a celebration. And in a lot of traditions, they say that this seat here, the Hridayam in India, is the seat of the mind, is the home of the mind. It's to bring the mind back home. And so this area is a gateway into the divine. It's a gateway. It's not the only way or anything like that, but it's a gateway into the divine. And so this book, Wealth Consciousness book, right? It teaches a simple meditation practice where you just feel the rhythm and flow. I mean, the first chapter, you just kind of sit and you become aware of all the rhythms all around you, that we live in a universe of constantly repeating rhythms of something, like whether it's man-made, whether it's the hum of the refrigerator, whether it's the birds outside, whether it's the cicadas or whatever is going on, there's constantly, you're just in a universe of rhythm and movement. And as you become aware of this universe of rhythm and movement, you can kind of like unify with it. You become a part of it as you invite it, rather than like, I remember when my kids were much younger and they would make noise and I'm trying to meditate. I'm trying to get to this quiet place. I'm like, shut up. I need everything still and quiet, and had to control everything. Last week I was meditating and the guy's outside the room that I'm meditating in with a jackhammer, right? And I'm able to like not be disturbed, right? Because the jackhammer, again, is a repeating rhythm. So the first chapter, like I said, it talks about like all the repeating rhythms in the universe. You realize you're walking in this symphony of music wherever you are, that there's just infinite vibration, infinite movement, and the universe is infinitely abundant, right? And then it turns from the outer to the inner awareness, and bringing the mind home to this rhythm, that we have this natural kind of soft pulsation, right? In this area of the heart center, which is not the heartbeat, but it's a flow. It's kind of like, I liken it to like a jet flow in a swimming pool or something. You have those little circles on the side of the pools and the water just flows out of it. For me, I just feel like when I tune into it, it's just this flow is there. And the mind, the mind likes to run the show, right? The personal mind likes to run the show. It likes to be in control. It doesn't like to be told what to do. And it just, it's a great servant, but it's a terrible master. It's a terrible master. And the whole purpose of meditation is to free us from the tyranny of the mind and to bring the mind back home. And so we learn to connect the mind back to source. And as the mind is connected back to source through this practice or whatever practice you like, then the source, the energy of source, right? Source energy starts to flow through that mental body, through the emotional body, through the physical body, through all the bodies. And a clearing takes place. And so when I say freedom isn't free, which is the topic of today, it's like we all want freedom, and we all, inherently are in our spirit being free. But all this other stuff that we've held on to in our mental bodies, these beliefs, ideas, concepts, energy that has lodged itself into our physical bodies even, we have to give that up and to really experience real freedom, right? And wealth, the word wealth, right? The root of the word wealth is well-being. It's not just money. Wealth is well-being, and to be well, that's the root. And so to be well in all these areas, right, it's a holistic approach. You don't just want, like when I took that inventory, money, I'm good. I've got a 10 there. Finance is good. I'm 10. But the other areas was like, oh my God, look at this. This is where I need to boost up. And I knew that if I boosted my spirituality, the mental and emotional would come up. I knew that if I took care of the physical more and started getting with that together, like I said, it would be 10s across the board, so to speak, everything else would take care of itself. But so I started getting back into this practice and going through the book. And then a couple weeks into it, a couple days into it, actually, not weeks, a couple of days into it, I realized I got to share this again. And then all of a sudden, I was called to speak at a place in Delaware. And then I got in touch with Bill and kind of just called him out of the blue. And then I was offered an invitation to speak here. And so what I'm saying is, as I started, like, I believe that everything, and I see this in my experience, like I go in cycles. Everything, life just is like a repetitive cycle as well, where something else comes to the forefront of, and then something recedes, something else comes to the forefront, something recedes. As far as like, there may be a time where, you know, I've been into like this type of teaching for over a quarter of a century. I like to say it that way because it sounds like a really literally long time, but it's definitely over 25 years, right? Which is a quarter of a century. And, you know, I come back to it time and time again. And it's just like, yeah, you come back to it because the Native Americans have a saying, you never step into the same river twice, right? Because whenever you come to approach the river and step in the river, you're different and the river's different. You're never the same person. The river's never the same. Always in the eternal present, in the eternal now, nothing is ever the same. It's always new. It's always fresh, right? And so the same way is like when I come back to this river of teaching and this river of truth, like I get to see it with new depth and new awareness and fresh eyes. And I'm not the same. I'm coming to it from a different place. The words and the teaching and the principles themselves have not changed at all in the period of time, you know, because this stuff was around way before I was even took this physical existence. But the evolution of my own personal evolution of coming back to it and drinking from it, I get to drink from it and it gets to taste differently each time. This morning I woke up and I was thinking of this book, The Infinite Power to Be Rich by Joseph Murphy. And I knew I had the book somewhere, but I couldn't find it. So I'm looking through just some of the books that I have laying around. I'm like, where is this book? I haven't seen it in over a year now, but I know that this book would have something good to. I just felt like it's something. So I found this book instead, The Abundance Book. You might be familiar with. It's a great book and a great 40-day process that I've done over and over again in my life. My life always changed every time I did a 40-day abundance program. But there's this quote in this book from Dr. Joseph Murphy from the book, Your Infinite Power to Be Rich. And it goes kind of hand in hand with the reading that was read earlier. God is the giver and the gift. Man is the receiver. God dwells in man, and this means that the treasure house of infinite riches is within you and all around you. By learning the laws of mind, you can extract from that infinite storehouse within you everything you need in order to live life gloriously, joyously, and abundantly. And that really sums up in a lot of ways, again, what we're after and what the teaching is about, you know, that it's all within. It's the Father within that does the work. It's this presence within. It's all given unto us. But we have to go from an intellectual understanding to a tangible experience of it. You know, Ernest Holmes says, you know, one thing the practitioner has to do is spend time alone in order to finally, so that which is unseen becomes more real than even that which is seen, to a point. And through this practice of this rhythm that's taught in this book, it just, what happens to me over a 10-minute period is my mind just gradually relaxes and releases into this vibration. My brain takes on a new frequency, and I'm tuning into this high vibrational area in my being. Let's just say it's not just in my body; it's in my being. It's like the spark. Some traditions say that this is the seat of the soul, the spark of the soul rests and resides in this area. So where the attention goes, the energy flows. Whatever you focus upon expands. So when the attention goes to this area of vibration, this light, this spark of the soul, whatever you want to call it, I call it the gateway to God. So when my attention goes there, and this energy, you know, that's always flowing, regardless of my awareness of it or not, it starts to increase and expand. And then everything in my energy field, the stuff that I'm carrying in my mental body, my physical body, my emotional body, it just starts to little by little let go and release, you know. And then by the end of the 10 minutes or sometimes 15 minutes, I just feel this really powerful place of let go, where the mind has let go and there's nothing but bliss, peace, happiness, all the stuff that we're really seeking after. It's really within, and like there's a tangible experience of it rather than intellectual understanding. So there comes a time where we digest a lot of information and a lot of books, and there comes a time where you got to put the books away and just go with the experience and really do the work, the inner work, and follow the instructions rather than just kind of reading one thing after the other thing after the other thing. The mind can't digest but so much. And just working at the level of the mind and feeding the mind isn't enough. You got to go within, and you got to feel and experience the storehouse of treasure within us. And so this is what I've been doing. This is what I've been coming back to. And one of the things I've been experiencing is just like a natural, all of a sudden now, it's only been like less than, like I said, 2 months, right? Getting back on track, so to speak. And I feel as a result of the practice and getting back into it, just happiness for no damn reason. Like, just unconditional happiness is what you call joy, just an overall feeling of just feeling good without, like I said, I'm very blessed in so many ways in my life, but just, it's not a conditional feeling good, if that makes any sense. It's coming, it's a source. It's rooted in source energy and connecting to the source energy. And that's just God being, like we're here to grow, evolve, and change. And it's all within us, but it's like tapping that inner well, tapping that inner well is so important. And we need a practice. And it's great to you have a community that supports you in that practice is invaluable. So I know I'm running out of time, and I'm kind of just jumping place to place to place, hitting on things. And this is another part that stuck out to me today that really kind of goes hand in hand with the topic I wanted to talk about in the same book of the Abundance Book. The inner presence, the you of you, is truly the moneymaker. Your thinking, reasoning mind is not. Your only source is the God presence within you. If your mind is on the source, the cause, the supply flows. If your mind is on the effect, you block the flow. And so again, coming back to your eternal teachings, like, we bring the mind in connection to spirit. Spirit is the divine mind that knows, right? Well, let me just continue to read another part. Turn within and watch your inner presence work. The activity of your infinite mind sees and knows only abundance. And this sea of knowingness is the spiritual idea corresponding to every single form, event, circumstance, condition, or experience that you could possibly desire. And this is what I like, and to end with, the time must come when you will satisfy the need for money by steadfastly depending on the master self within, not on anything in the outer world of form. Until you do this, you will continue to experience uncertainties of supply for the rest of your life. Every soul must learn this lesson. Until it does, it will be given the opportunity after opportunity in the form of apparent lack and limitation. So it's one thing to know that it's all within you. It's another thing to really actualize it. Another thing to actually experience it. It's another thing to actually live it. And once we do, each one of us, as I am lifted up, I get to lift the vibration all around. And it's a great service. There's no greater service that we can give the world other than lifting and raising our vibration. Lifting and raising our vibration is lifting and raising our consciousness. And our consciousness is our operating system of life. Okay, so when upgrading your operating system of life, everything else has to change and upgrade as well. We can't just upgrade one without the other. You can't put new wine in old wine bags, like Jesus said. You can't put the latest software or operating system on a very old, outdated computer. So it all goes hand in hand. Every area of life, wealth is well-being. It's everything. It's peace of mind. It is great relationships. It is harmony and health in relationships, and it's the abundance of finance as well, and not living from a place of lack and limitation. So I think my time has run out. Thank you for letting me give it all to you, whatever came through today. Thank you so much.
I've been walking in my accounting sheet where the years went. I can say I just turned around and they've gone away. I've been sifting through the layers of dusty books and faded papers. They tell a story I used to know. It was one that happened so long ago. It's gone away. And yesterday, and I find myself on the mountainside where the rivers change direction across the great divide. Now I heard the owl calling softly as the night was falling with a question, and I replied, but he's gone across the borderline. It's gone away. And yesterday, and I find myself on the mountainside where the rivers change direction across the great divide. The finest hour that I have seen is the one that comes between the edge of a night and the break of day. It's when the darkness, oh, it rolls away. It's gone away. And yesterday, and I find myself on the mountainside where the rivers change direction across the great divide. See, it's gone away. In yesterday, and I find myself on the mountainside where the rivers change direction across the great divide, where the rivers change direction across the great divide.
Thank you, Amanda. And thank you, Pankaj. That was, I really appreciated that talk. It reminded me of so many things. Like, as Reverend Bill says, there's a long way between your head and your heart. And sometimes that 18 inches is just a long journey. And I liked what you said about you go back to the river, but the river's not the same and you're not the same. So you find something new. A long time ago, I took a course on the release technique, and we learned a process to drop, to make that journey from the head to the heart. We called it dropping into beingness. And it's always helped me to do that. So I thought we might use that for meditation today, because we're different and it's a different river. And we may find some benefit in it. There's a little, I can find it. Here we go. I'll read through it. We can get settled into some meditation first. Think about dropping into inner beingness, that place inside where you tap into your divine source.
God call.
You can hide it. You can.
So get settled in your chairs, your seat, wherever you are. Get comfortable, preferably with your feet flat on the floor, sitting up straight. Feel yourself supported. Let's take just 3 slow, deep breaths. Breathe in. Hold it at the top. And breathe out. One more breath in. Hold it at the top. And breathe out. And one more. Breathe in. Hold it at the top. And relax. The mind swirls and spins and swirls. Stop. The mind does not have the answer. If it did, it would have stopped. Let go of believing that the mind is your number one resource. Allow a greater power to lead. Let go of analyzing the data. Let go of planning, predicting, and strategizing. Let go of wanting to know the right answers. Let go of wanting to know what to do. See that it is unkind to be straining, striving, and pushing. Let go of wanting to think just for now. Tune in. Find the gap, the silence, the stillness, or the space. Extend in every direction. See how far the space goes. Notice that it goes farther than your reach. Allow yourself to rest as that which needs no thinking to exist.
When we let go of the notion that we already know, we open ourselves to know something new. It's the same mental process that we do with our breath. It's the breath out that makes way for that next inhale. So it's that process of surrendering, of letting loose our attachment to what we thought we knew, to the way things have been in the past. That we open ourselves to that infinite wisdom, that divine guidance. And it's always available. That one infinite creative power that creates everything, that one mind that knows everything, that one love that shares itself as everything. That everything means everything. That includes each of us, everything we are and everything that we do, everything that we're involved in. All of the ideas, all of the motivations, all of the experiences, all of the stuff that we gather around us is that divine power and presence taking specific and particular form. And so as we let go of our attachment to the way things have been, the way the structures and pieces have fit together in the past, we allow space for the infinite to co-create something brand new with us. Whatever good that it is what we're desiring, whatever that experience, that feeling, that tone, that texture of prosperity, of health and vitality, of love and connection, of creativity, of joy, of harmony, of peace, of sweetness, of richness, whatever that feeling that we are seeking, the infinite creative power that creates everything is ready to give it to us. That good is at hand right here and right now, and as we open to it, it fills us. And it waits for us to be open. It waits for the opportunity. So I now know that this good is unfolding and revealing and expressing itself for each of us individually, for all of us together, in ways that are profoundly joyous and prosperous and vital and creative and deep. There's nothing that stands in the way of this creative process. There's nothing that stands in the way of this divine power. So this good is unfolding now, and I am so grateful for it. With deep feeling of thanks for all of this good unfolding, with delightful anticipation of the prayer work stories that are on the way, I speak this word of intention and I release it into that creative law, the one that has said yes since the very beginning of time, since the infinite said, let there be. It's been saying yes, and it's once again saying yes. And this good is underway now. And so it is. Take another deep breath in, let yourself be filled one more time. And let it go. Continue breathing at the pace that's comfortable for you. Let your attention come back to your body, wiggle your fingers and toes. Maybe shrug your shoulders or whatever it is that's going to get you going. And open your eyes as Amanda does another song for us.
What will it look like when I end my journey? Will I be afraid, or will I see some glory? Who knows? Who knows? None can say. Don't want to be another paper doll. Cannot let my heart shrink so small. Must stay true to myself. So weigh my heart, will I go to heaven? Too many faults, will I be forgiven? Oh, oh. Don't let me have a heavy heart. Oh, oh. Don't let me have a heavy heart. Some people waltz around in loneliness. lonesome pain. Eaten by the cinders, and only the bricks remain. Don't lose yourself in this life. Dark shadows dance round my head at night, but in this static second I sing. Be in the now and not tomorrow's light. Hold the pulse of my wrist and breathe. So weigh my heart, will I go to heaven? Too many faults, will I be forgiven? Oh, oh. Don't let me have a heavy heart. Oh, oh. Don't let me have a heavy heart. Oh, oh. Don't let me have a heavy heart.
Thank you, Amanda. And that was an original, as have all of the songs other than the Bill Withers one that we heard earlier. And thank you. It's wonderful having you with us today. And Pankaj, thank you so much for sharing, and Joe for the wonderful meditation, and for teeing us up so that we can consider something new. This is the time in the program where we get to share the wisdom, the insight, whatever it is that's come up for you. So if you have something that came up this morning that you'd like to share, give voice to, just go ahead and wave your hand, either electronically or in the screen, and go ahead and be able to give voice to it. Go ahead, Linda.
So everything was wonderful. Music was fantastic. Joe, you always do a great meditation. And Pankaj, wow, you opened my eyes to something. I've been so focused on one area of my life, and you reminded me that I have more than one area of my life that I need to focus on. So I am incredibly grateful for that. So thank you so very much. It was wonderful.
Thank you, Linda. Anybody else? Dina.
I'd like to second that. Great service. I always love listening to Pankaj. That I'm pretty sure I was in your class 16 years ago. And I think out of that, I wrote my song Divine Order based on Catherine Ponder's work. And yeah, so reminders everywhere. And Amanda, you're amazing. Your voice is so beautiful. And thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And Joe, great, beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Carolyn's next, and I think Jesus had his hand up. And this is Pankaj's family behind me, by the way. Pankaj is the short one.
This, as always, it's a wonderful service. And, you know, the things that struck me, I mean, and these are things I know, but you got to move beyond and knowing. And the idea about the mind is a servant, but not a good master. And the journey from the head to the heart, it's like you don't do it once and it's already done. You have to keep doing that and just keep going back to that. Or at least that's my experience. And, you know, just having that reminder and just give myself permission to have a quiet mind. So, you know, yes, there was a lot that was very rich and very, very helpful. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Carolyn. Jesus, did you have something you wanted to add?
Well, in reality, I think I was just rolling my head, but I always could say something. Well, like always, wonderful. The reading really got me. Anything from Ernest Holmes always tickled my heart. But yes, and God bless everybody. Thank you, Brad.
Thank you, Jesus. Did I see another hand? Joe, were you waving?
I was. Can you hear me?
Yep.
I just wanted to say, I'm actually putting it in the chat, but thank you, Pankaj. Gina and Linda really said what I wanted to say. And I wanted to just give a shout out to Irene Bozic, who gave me that quote that I used for the meditation. It's served me so well over a long time.
Beautiful. Thank you, Joe. Yeah, and I was remembering back to the meditations that we did while we were studying wealth consciousness all those years ago. And there's the notion that when you get quiet, you can feel your pulse. And when we started, I was like, I can't really. And then I could. And then the next instruction, okay, now you got your pulse, there's another vibration that's going at the same time. It's like, no, there's not. And so wait a second. There's a vibration that's not my pulse. What's going on here? And just becoming aware of the vibrations. And then the really cool thing for me, and this is what Pankaj remembered from when I took the class, is that you invite your body to give you a yes signal or a no signal. In which case, and for me, it showed up really clearly. And even when I'm not paying attention to it, sometimes I'll get a no signal. More often than not, I'll get a yes signal, especially when I'm doing a prayer with a client. My right foot will start tapping. It's like, oh, I'm onto something here. As that stuff that we learn, as those cycles that we go through continue to uplift us. It's the way that, when we develop our consciousness, it gives it more capacity. So thank you for the reminder, Pankaj. Carla Ann?
So amazing. So absolutely amazing. So, New Thought Philadelphia is all about spreading the love. Our community is supported by your contributions. The gifts you share helps fund our work in the world, and the way you shine your light spreads the love. We are grateful for every way you share. We don't have a basket today, but there is a donate button on the website to make a donation by credit card or PayPal. You can also mail a check to our office in Ardmore. The offering affirmation is on the screen, and we'll say the affirmation together. I live in an abundant universe.
I am one, the infinite source of all good.
I'm a
I am
center of
conscious prosperity.
I enjoy
the richness of life.
I bless my
gift.
I share my gift
with gratitude and joy. I know that as I give, I do receive.
And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you
Amen.
all. And Amanda, one more for us.
Newfound quiet is a necklace you wear. Show me a smile so I know you're still there. Let's go for a walk now and watch the leaves change. Seasons will pass, but you will remain. Take my hand, we can only be so steady on our own. Take my hand, there's no need for you to be all alone. Hold my hand, together we'll walk into the unknown. So let me be your hand to hold. The grass grows taller, but it's going nowhere. You can scream out loud, but in the end it's not there. No need to be scared, we all worry too. Just don't allow your troubles to swallow you. Take my hand.
Thank you, Amanda. That was absolutely wonderful. And by the way, if you guys are looking at the virtual background in Pankaj's shot, that was his house. He has just an awesome party house, which is spectacular. Let's close together. Normally we would hold hands, make a big circle, but we're just going to do that virtually now. Go ahead and unmute your microphone so you can repeat after me. I am love.
I
am love.
I am light.
I am
I am light.
I let my light shine.
I let my light shine.
And I let the love flow.
And I let the love flow.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you guys so much.
Like that, huh?
Mm.
Thank you.